All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Oh, it looks like our chat disappeared. I see volume, at least, in the OBS. Let's see if we can make the chat. Did that come back? No. All right, sneak peek behind the scenes. Oh, wow. Yeah, it just really doesn't want to come back, huh? In the wrong chat room? Live broadcast? How's it going, Paul SK and C. Grover? Happy Friday. What's with our chat here? Yeah, I'll pull this back. We probably don't need this here anymore. Discord? Connected? Discord? I swear I had this working earlier. Ah, there we are. Let's get the size fixed there. Oh. Yeah, it does this thing where it's like certain sizes it doesn't like to show. Kind of just disappears and reappears. Got a bit of a mind of its own in the OBS. Not sure how wide we have room for. Let's try like that, see if it's... Oh, thank you for the GIF, whoever that was, Janiscu. That actually helps me see how wide we can go. There we go. All right, hopefully that's still legible and everything. Deshipu, good evening. How's it going? Janiscu, what do we got there? Is it a submarine or? Oh, it's a Minecraft. Wow. Huh. How does it move? Does it have a command blocks or something? I don't know. I'm not up on Minecraft very much. Probably actually much simpler than I make it out in my mind. That's pretty cool looking though. Did you make that? Okay, let me get the let's shuffle a couple more of these around so I can see both of the chats. How's it going, DJ Devin? Good afternoon and happy Friday. Beata, it's a two Friday coffee. Yeah, apparently, huh? It's a 2 coffee Friday for you. How's it going? And happy Friday. Happy two coffee day as well. It was a 3 coffee Friday for me. I had the morning coffee, the mid-morning coffee, and the afternoon coffee was my coffee regimen today. All right, I think we're about ready to get going here. Got both of these so I can see them. Let me see what this other mention is. Up with Nerodox playing with text scale, which is really cool. Using bitmap tools to scale to different sizes, which is actually really cool. Somebody was asking if this was possible, and the first answer off the top of my head was no, it's not possible, but there is actually a way. There's bitmap tools. It just needed a bit of tinkering to work with text, and Nerodoc actually went ahead and hacked it up for us. Got it going, which is actually super cool. Cool. Okay, so let's get this show on the road. So hello everybody. First of all, welcome and thanks for tuning in. My name is Tim. I go by Foamy Guy on GitHub and Discord. This is the deep dive program. On this program, we're going to be looking at CircuitPython related stuff. Sometimes we are working inside the CircuitPython core. Sometimes we're working inside of CircuitPython libraries. Sometimes we're working on projects. Other times it's documentation or infrastructure. The kind of common thread that brings everything all together that I work on here during these streams, this weekly program, is it's all related to CircuitPython. If you are new and don't know what CircuitPython is, you can learn more at circuitpython.org. This is the main website for the project. If you hear any loud crashing in the background, that's my cat running back and forth as fast as he can all the way across the entire house, so don't mind that. CircuitPython.org, again, this is the main website for it. This is basically a implementation of Python that runs on tiny computers called microcontrollers. If you do go to CircuitPython.org and click downloads, you can see a bunch of different pictures of them. I also have the camera pulled up here where I have a Feather ESP32S2 TFT device. So this has a built-in screen. It's got the Feather form factor, and this is one of those microcontrollers. So this thing here, it's kind of connected to the other board. We'll take it out, just this bit right here. Technically, the real brain of it is inside this on this one. This is a microcontroller. It can run CircuitPython, what that means is that we're able to load Python code onto this, just like it's a thumb drive, save our code, and it will execute it for us. And that is what CircuitPython is all about, is running Python code on these microcontrollers. I'm going to pull this back to make sure I get it plugged in right there. So that is the high-level look at CircuitPython, what it's for, that sort of stuff. If you are interested in the CircuitPython project, again, circuitpython.org, you can learn more. I'd also encourage you to join us down on the Discord. If you look down this way, nope, wrong way, this way. If you look down that way, adafru.it/discord is on the screen there. That is where you can join us during this program. The live chat that is right below me down there, that is on the Discord in the live broadcast chat room. The one below that is YouTube, which you can join us over there as well. If you want to join the Discord, though, you can join us in the CircuitPython dev channel and the Help with CircuitPython channels, as well as many other channels all throughout the week. So if you want to get involved in CircuitPython development, you have a project that's using CircuitPython, if you want to ask questions about it, if you have a problem, you want to get help with that sort of stuff, you can head over to the Discord, join us there, and there are lots of great folks in the community who are always chiming in on the Discord with all kinds of different stuff. So head over there, come join us, and we'd love to see you. CircuitPython is an open source project. It is, out. All the development takes place out in the open on GitHub. However, I will say it's primarily funded from a financial standpoint by this company, Adafruit. This is their website, adafruit.com. That is, of course, the channels that we are streaming on right now, are the Adafruit channels on YouTube and Twitch and such. So definitely a huge thank you to Adafruit for making CircuitPython possible by paying the folks who work on it. If you want to help support the project, but you're not interested in getting involved in development, one of the ways you can do that is just by purchasing hardware from Adafruit. They sell the microcontrollers, just like this one that I have back here. This Feather TFT microcontroller is an Adafruit product. In this case, as is this one in the middle here with all the NeoPixels on it. And in this case, the one that they are plugged into, in fact, is also an Adafruit product, a Feather Tripler. So they sell all kinds of stuff, including the microcontrollers themselves and all the stuff that you can plug in, hook up to the microcontrollers and do fun stuff with. So head over there, get yourself some toys. Thank you for shopping at adafruit.com. Again, just to reiterate, because they are paying the folks who work on the project, including myself, for that work. So huge thanks to them, and huge thanks to everybody who purchases hardware from them. Getting into the specifics of the day, how does CircuitPython differ from MicroPython? That is a very good question. I am not the best one to answer. I think there is... Where have I seen that? There is a better answer than that than I can give you written somewhere. Here we go. Check out that page, which I'm dropping in the Discord link there. It has differences section. One other place that might be good to look, this one is perhaps a little bit harder to dig up, but maybe somebody could help you if you have trouble. There was an AMA on the Python Reddit, I think last year, for CircuitPython Day, so 2021. This would have been CircuitPython Day. It would have been August or September last year. I forget which month it was in, but I want to say August. There was an AMA that included Scott, the lead developer of CircuitPython, that also actually included some of the MicroPython developers as well. This was a question that was asked there, and they both got a chance to answer it. So that's also a good place to go, where you could actually get an answer that comes from the viewpoint of Scott, the lead developer of CircuitPython, as well as some of the MicroPython developers. I don't recall exactly who or how many of them were there, but that's a place to look as well for a more expanded version of the differences between them. Best thing I could think of is it's more specialized for microcontrollers in tiny, tiny packages. Yeah, that's a short question with a long answer. That is definitely true, Neurodoc. It is, yeah. I would say in my mind, the highest level difference that at least is most important to me, which, this is my opinion here, right? So take it for what it's worth. The most important difference for me is about the how easy it is to load CircuitPython on a wide array of different devices, and then how easy it is to run your code just by opening it up as a file on a thumb drive, saving it, and then having it run right away. That quick iteration of just saving your code and having it run, not caring about drivers, serial ports, none of that stuff. Just open it up like a file, any text editor you want, save it, boom, it runs. That is one of the core things in my mind that stands out as the difference. Now, that being said, I will say also, I don't have that much experience on MicroPython, truthfully. The vast majority of my experience is on CircuitPython. That is really the main thing I could speak to. Maybe MicroPython has some possibilities to do that kind of stuff these days. As far as I know, though, that was a thing, that workflow was originated in CircuitPython. Let me catch up on the chat here. Can it scale fonts down? Yes, it can scale fonts down as well. Well, okay, first, important thing to note, it's not scaling the fonts per se, it is scaling bitmaps. It can scale bitmaps both up and down, though. So if your bitmap contains font, you can scale it down. Now, I have no idea, like at some point it will become illegible. You know, I have no idea at what point that is, so I don't know how far you can scale it down before it's difficult to read. Do you have to load it each time manually, or does it stay on the device and run each boot? Somebody might have answered this in the chat already. This was a couple of minutes back, but just in case not, it does stay on the microcontroller each time. You do not have to reload it. Once you save it, it is stored on there, just like it's a thumb drive that you opened up a file and modified it and then saved it. Once you do that, it is saved on there, and it will just automatically rerun whenever the device is plugged in to power. Fractional bitmap scaling will be very useful. Yeah, totally agree. And that's in there today. That's in Bitmap Tools RotoZoom. So that is possible to use today. It's just a bit of an advanced feature. Drag and drop code iterations for the win. Yep, so much faster than waiting for the compiler. CircuitPython is by far the most fun language I've learned yet. I would second that as well. Same for me, most fun language. Was floored. What's that? One second. Down. Okay. Cat taking the opportunity while I'm busy here to be up on the counter. Of course he is. Little fuzzy butt. Scaling fonts with pixelation down is a given. Just having the capability now is awesome. Yeah. Didn't need a full Pi to learn to work on a Pico W. Yeah, the Picos are great. The price point of the Picos is difficult to beat, and power as well. It's a separate project with different goals and development cycles. Talking about the test I did, yeah, yep, we were talking about that. Left picture is a little blurry. Yep. You did go down? Did you go down one, or is the smallest one 1? I guess the smallest one it looks like is 1. I can't actually tell. How's it going, David Essa? Happy Friday. Okay. I think we're caught up on the chat now, so thank you to everybody for coming to watch and hanging out in the chat. Thank you to everybody for talking, hanging out, saying hi, having fun. What I want to get into specifically today is a continuation of some of the stuff that I've been working on the last couple of weeks. It is specifically, we're going to start with the PixelMap. So for folks that might be new, if you don't know what's going on with this, PixelMap is a helper class that is used for neopixels, which are RGB LEDs. In particular, it's really good when you have neopixels in a grid, such as what we have right here in this little Featherwing plugin. We have a 4x8 grid of neopixels. The PixelMapper class makes it so that you can set up your mapping and then sort of manipulate multiple of these RGB LEDs as though they were one. So for instance, if you wanted to turn all of this row right here on at once onto the same color, PixelMap will allow you to kind of treat all 4 of those as a single neopixel. So you set it up once and then you just say, turn my first row red. You don't worry about it after that, you know, how many pixels or which ones or all that. It kind of stores all that for you. In particular, what has happened is this class used to be a Python helper class. It was inside of the LED animation library. And I'm saying used to be as though it's in the past tense. The truth is this is actually still there. Part of what we're going to be doing today, though, I think will be PR this to remove it from here. So this is actually the place where it exists today, is inside LED animation, inside helper. There is this class here, PixelMap. The thing is, though, this has now been implemented inside the core, or I should say at least some portions of this, not the entire thing, mostly the portions that can gain efficiency by being in C code instead of Python. So there is now a core version of PixelMap and what we are working on today is further integrating the Python layer, because we still need a Python layer as well to bring in some of the functionality. So we're going to be working on integrating the Python layer with the new core object. And I'm stalling a bit here, so I'll pull this up. It's just where we're trying to go. This is the change inside the core that added the PixelMap class in there. Jeff originally worked on this, so thank you to Jeff. Thank you as well to Mark Gambler, who helped me finish it up. Mark implemented the Git slicing, which was really nice because I think that was probably beyond my skill set a little bit. So I was happy to get help on that. So thank you, loads to Mark for implementing that Git slicer. And it turned out it was much faster than the Python implementation. So that's good that we got that. This is now merged in, and so that's what we were working on. In even more specific, what we are going to do is actually work on these two issues which Mark left for us. So problem with individual pixels set to true. We're going to try to recreate this problem. We're going to try to figure out what the problem is. We're going to try to fix the problem. To start with, I have a Feather TFT. Because this is merged now, this one in the core, we should be able to just go get a build from CircuitPython.org. I should not need to make a custom build, although if we run into trouble, I will go back to making custom builds. But I think we can go here. We can go here, absolute newest. Let's go with pirate. Let's grab the newest one. Oh, we don't want a bin, though. I do want a UF2. Okay, I am going to go to bootloader mode on my device, except for my device is not plugged in, which severely inhibits its ability to go to bootloader mode. Let's plug it in. Let's also press this button so that it's actually plugged in. Let me catch up here. Oh my god, Tiny, that's so awesome. Let's see the picture there. The left photo is a little blurry. It's going to be... is this going to get rolled into the display I/O for bitmap fonts to make it easier? I don't know for sure. The small one is 0.65, and it says illegible. Neradoc reports that the small one is illegible at 0.65. It's in display I/O now. Technically it's in bitmap tools is the function that makes it work. I would say the best place for it is probably in bitmap label. However, it's also weird. Bitmap label is intended to be the same as label, just a different internal implementation, but the same API. If we changed one, ideally we'd want to change both, but it would probably be harder to, or more complex at least, to do it in the regular label rather than the bitmap label. It would be cool if that were built in. I will say that for sure. I'm definitely open to a PR on display text to add that functionality for sure. Doesn't matter if it's illegible, there's still uses. That's true, yeah. Like if you want like runes or something on a tiny page or something in a game. Here we are with the new and old lingo. Yep, that's true. We got the new and old lingo coming back. So many new devs helping out lately. Bill 88T doing some great stuff. Jepler's been on fires, and Scott's back. Last couple of weeks, everybody's on a rampage squashing bugs. Yeah, made the modification in bitmap label. We need a font.io module. There is? I think there is a font.io module, but it doesn't... is there? What am I thinking of? Does that exist? I'm second guessing myself. Does it actually exist, font.io? It sounds familiar. Maybe that's a CPython thing? This search page. Search page kills me. I always forget about this. A little slow. Font.io, there we go. But this is Blinka, core, low-level usage. So we have font.io, but it looks like it's meant for not really end-user usage. It's like internal more so. I guess probably bitmap font, the library wraps this. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we do have that. But the thing is that bitmap tools is really for scaling bitmaps. It just so happens that bitmap label has a bitmap, so it's not that it scales the font specifically, just that it's scaling the bitmap. So I did download my UF2. I did not successfully get to bootloader, so let's actually try that again. Okay, now we're on the bootloader. We'll go copy our downloaded UF2. It's here. We want to make sure to get the UF2, not the bin. Copy that. I have a lot of things connected. This is the one that's the device, though. Should, I think, just disconnect that one. Probably disconnect this one too, but I guess I'll leave it for right now. This is always going to be going back to here, huh? Interesting. Yeah, we'll disconnect it. Okay, I am also going to get the example for... We're going to get the example for this, or should we use the example from LED animation? Or I guess ultimately we're going to be running the code that Mark gave us here. He's actually just creating. Okay, let's actually start with the example though. Let's go there. I'm gonna go examples. Ooh. That was a lot of things that happened. I just heard a cat jump down from a counter. We're on the counter, were you, buddy? What was here? Okay, yeah, this is the test for display.io root group change. Let me keep that actually. It's in the PR anyway, but now we don't have it copied anymore. It up with another browser somehow? Yeah, we do have Font.io, but it just doesn't do anything with scaling. In fact, I don't think it does anything that's like user-facing, really. I've never actually used it, I don't think. Woo, those ones get super tiny. Nice. Zeppelin might have narrowed down the hard fault on the S3s. Sweet. You have a screenshot? That's true. We do. It's tricky though, because our screenshot library, like, it works best if you have an SD card, because it needs a place to write the screenshot to, and if your thing is mounted by default, then it'll be read-only to the code, so it can't save the screenshot. So then you either got to have the bootpy that makes it writable, or if you have an SD card, that's where it's like easiest. If you have like PyPortal or a TFT breakout that has an SD card on it, then the screenshot is like super easy to just save onto the SD card. However, I will say then still, like, it is kind of a pain to actually get to your image, because you got to take the SD card out, put it in a reader, plug the reader into your computer. There is no like pass-through kind of thing. Although I think Dan was maybe working on that at one point. I don't know if I'll PR it. Needs more work to fix the position and stuff. If you would, go ahead and push a branch and ping me with a link to it. I will happily work on it one of these days. I don't know if it'll be today or tomorrow or when I will get to it, but if you push a branch, I will definitely pick that up and try to finish it off at some point. Neardoc for the scaling stuff. Idea with Font.io is that you load a font, has the size you need already, I think. That's true, yeah, that's kind of how it works by default in Display.io, is like you load it the font you want at the size you want, but I mean, it would still be nice to have dynamic scaling. There are times where you want like 1.5 size, 1.5 times the size, so I don't know. I think it's worth it as an option to have, even though it's not. Even though you have a better ability to fine tune your size by actually just using a custom font and creating it at the size you want, like you'll have a better ability to fine tune it and get it looking good. But some people want something that's just good enough, right? If I can make it 1.5 times and it looks good enough, then some people are cool with that, and it will be something they use. let's let this run. So we're not going to have board NeoPixel though, so we're going to have to figure out what pin our NeoPixels are on. In order to do that, I'm going to go look at the Learn Guide for the Featherwing. EFT Featherwing has the built-in, of course it has, yeah, no anti-aliasing, that's true, so it'll be hard cut. Johnny Bergdahl, how's it going? Johnny Bergdahl over there on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. Glad to hear that you are feeling a bit better from before. Let's look at NeoPixel Featherwing. Featherwing? I don't remember the pin number. So it may be configurable too, I guess. So, actually connected. We'll look for sample code, actually, is probably the quickest way to find out. Ooh. Actually say sample code, okay. How did I figure this out last time? Oh, you get to choose. Right. No idea though. What is that on ours? Dan said someday SD cards might show up. Nice. Yeah, that'll be the pass-through thing will be really cool if we ever get that. That's going to be super awesome. That will make working with an SD card like a million times easier without, because you won't have to like unplug, replug. Okay, so it's on, we're like upside down and backwards here, but we'll try to work this out. So we're on the fourth pin. We're on the fourth pin from this side on the short side of pins. So short side of pins, 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like pin 6. No module name made for PixelMap. Oh, that's fair, I guess. It's not in the bundle yet, so CircuitPython won't work. So I'm just going to copy it. If we could only use MTP. Yeah, I kind of like local storage better. I know MTP is nice because it allows multiple things to access it at once, I guess. I'm kind of partial to local storage though, because I remember back when Android was more commonly local storage. And I thought it worked a lot better. Honestly, on Android, when it does MTP connections, I find sometimes the files don't update right. And I also find sometimes like right-click context menus of a couple of actions that I normally am able to use on a local storage or on a regular directory don't work on MTP, which is like, it's minor stuff, but it's like stuff I'm used to in my workflow. And I've had it like lie to me about the files, kind of, where like I'll create a file, but it won't show up on the other side yet, and I get to like not trusting that the files it's showing me are actually current and accurate, which always, like, as soon as I start seeing that kind of stuff, I get skittish about the whole format or the whole device or stuff. It is convenient to be able to access from two places at once, though. Access from both sides is really nice, but if the trade-off is like more consistency and being able to have all those right-click actions, I'd probably swing towards that. Flipping the switch back and forth isn't too bad, in my mind. Grab PixelMap. There it is. Time for Flash. No corruption. Perfect. Yeah, screenshots of the weather station unplug. So that's true. Yeah, Pixel Perfect. Yeah, I mean, it's essentially just outputting the bitmap that is showing on the display. All right, that is working now. We got our single row on. I think, I don't know, did it, I don't remember what all this one does. Does it run through? Yeah, it runs through a couple of them here. Okay. But then specifically what we're after is these individual pixels, which I thought I had tested individual pixels at one point, but we must have somehow broken them after the fact, I guess. Let's get the reproducer code that Gambler has graciously provided, which is pretty much just individual pixels true. Basically do all of this. Offloading all QSpy would free up stuff too. Should be nice. Might eventually see the UF2s so big it becomes a necessity. Offloading QSpy. Visual pixels. Indices must be of type tuple, which is coming from line 124 inside of a knit. Call is coming from inside of a knit. Let's get a look at what it actually has here. That's interesting. That's not what I was expecting. I guess it makes sense though, right? This is the whole strip. Fair enough. Ranges is actually the one we want to print. Ranges. That looks better. Okay. I think that the problem is that these need to be tuples on the inside here. How and why are they becoming lists, though? Let's kind of step through this. Inside of a knit, individual pixels, it defaults to false. So first we're going to want to find some if statement that's checking if it's true. It's set right there. Actually don't have an if statement. It must be somewhere inside expand ranges. Yeah, there we go. So it says if not, expand pixels. So we have expand pixels true, so we're not doing that. I'm going to close it, which means we're going to be doing this. If is instance self ranges 0 int, then ranges equals, yeah, fair enough. I think this should be a tuple, but I don't know. Do we need to do it this way? Or do we need to do it some other way? Int object not iterable. I mean, I guess we could do that. That feels kind of weird though, right? Can I do this? Didn't save. Oh, I did control. Ah, shoot. Let's do, is it control Q, I think. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's true. If it ain't broke, low priority right now. Indices must be of type tuple. So we're closer. We are closer. I was thinking that this is kind of what we want, but still actually not working. I wonder, does it need to be a tuple all the way on the outside too? Ah. Yeah, there we go. Now it didn't crash. We do need to check if it worked though. So what did we actually do here? So we did 0, 1, 2, just a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's change it up a bit actually. Let's go 5. Do we do it backwards? Let's do it backwards so we can tell if it's actually working or not. Yeah, because I think we can't. I don't think we necessarily could know for sure if it was working if we don't do these in a different order. Let's also do a random one like 30. Make sure that saves and runs. Okay. So then if I go like my map 0, 1. So if I do 0, it'll give me the pixel whose index is 5. Say blue. Let me also do a pixels.fill 0 to turn everything off when the code first runs. Am I covering that? No, that's pretty good. There we go. Would that make sense as index 5? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah. So it must be this is 0 here. That's 5. We could verify that by going pixels 0. Oh, you know what though? We got green. Oh, I think I set it to green actually. I think I said blue, but set it to green. This should be this one, yeah, if our theory is right. Okay, that's good. So our map looks like it's working. Let's check a few more things in it though. So this would be back to index 5. This would be index 4 on the strip. Oh, I messed it up. Okay. Okay. So let's run through and do all of them. Let's also add a fill inside of here so that they'll turn off in between. Sweet. I think actually green was easier to see, wasn't it? Cool. So index 30 would be second from the end because index 31 would be the end. So we're good there. Let me see here. I heard a sound. I think it's the sound of a plane flying over my head. Uh-oh. Yeah, we get some loud planes here from time to time, too. In def expand ranges, did PyCharm add a ... or is that actual code? Question, let me look. There's PyCharm added that. This is the fold thing, actually, code folding. So whenever you have a block of code like this, it will give you these little arrows over here. If you click that arrow there, it will collapse that bit of code, and then the dots represent the collapsed code. If you click on them, it'll expand. You can also expand it by clicking the plus over here. And you can do that for any block, so we could fold the whole function here as well. It will like fold that thing down, and technically all the code is still there. This just makes it so you don't see it as you scroll past, which is helpful if you have a really big file and you scroll up and down in it. That appears to be working fine. Is there anything we would want to do differently? I mean, these are weird how they have the comma, but that's just how tuples are represented, I think. Should we try... Should we try the list one? Does it make any sense to go back to doing it this way? Does that change anything, really? I don't actually know. Collapse, missed that. Better safe than sorry. Still, okay, yeah, no, it doesn't like this way. So it does. It really wants those to be tuples. Is that the best way to make them into tuples? Is by doing it like this? I always found it weird how they have ones with a comma after like that, but I guess that's what represents a tuple, because if you didn't have that comma, then it's just a number inside parentheses, which then means we end up with one tuple instead of a tuple of tuples. Yeah, that's what we need. Oops. We should make sure the list works actually as well, because the list, this was possible in the old version. I'm pretty sure. Let's actually make sure that works. Don't actually need parens for a tuple. Yeah, but can you do that with one? What if I don't have a second thing? Yeah, I don't think it can be like that, can it? Always have a trailing comma. Doesn't, I mean, PyCharm at least doesn't seem like it wants to let me. What's the space? No, it doesn't. I don't know how, I mean, how would it know, right? It's going to think this is the first thing in the list and then this is the next thing in the list. Well, I guess the, what do they call that? Expansion or, I don't know what they call that, where the for loop is inside of it there. That's correct. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me. I get it, but it doesn't seem to work. Well, it works like that, I guess. Okay, it works like that, but not when it's in the, this, like, iterator expander doohickey thing here. That is interesting. Actually, I didn't know this syntax was valid, to be honest. That I did not realize. I have always seen it more like that. That's interesting. I'm gonna make the function out of it. Makes it the function call. The function call, the comma has different meanings, so you need the parentheses. Well, I mean, this one's not a function call though. It's a it's like the value before the for this expander thing. I mean, tuple, I guess it's a function call here, but tuple, in the tuple function, we're passing just a list. And then inside the list, that's where we have the this iterating, expanding thing. Comprehension? List comprehension, they call that, I think, in Python. Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, yeah, I gotcha. I'm with you there. Okay, so yeah, in your second example, you'd pass one parameter that's a tuple. In the first example, you're passing two parameters that are both ints. I see. It's an inconsistency in Python syntax. I gotcha. For the for loop there. Rehender thing. Comprehension, rather. Let's make sure list works here. Ah, it doesn't. Oh, but that is weird because we get the same thing here, do we? Isn't that the same thing? Or is that, maybe that's from last time. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess that's from last time. We actually didn't make it to the same place. 112, 113. Okay, let me double check. Let's make sure we do want to be able to support this before we change it. So the way we're going to check that is by making the old version of this, which we're going to do by how are we going to do it? We're going to do it by doing We're going to do it by doing this. Pretty much want, I mean, I guess we want almost the exact same thing as all this, I suppose. Okay. It's not actually possible in the current one. Let's like do some double checking on that though. That's not really the one we wanted. I had enough head scratching over errors while I copy pasted something from inside a list, so I didn't remove the comma and then wondered why it's a tuple. Something like a comma b equals a comma b. Tuple function. Ah, right. This one doesn't just hardcode them. They come from these. What kinds of things are they? Oh, grid map. Okay, sorry. This is actually what we want. That does not make any sense. Why are we getting... closure? Of course, it's not just a thing. What is a closure? How do I find out what kind of value it is? Hmm. I'm from PHP, still have a hard time not calling them arrays. Tuple dict, stuff switch, list. Yeah, I don't know. I call them arrays sometimes. List, list array. I kind of use them interchangeably. List and array, that is. Like, what do you call a multi-dimensional array? Yeah. Two-dimensional array. Two-dimensional list. Oh, I cut this out of here, actually. Hmm. I go back to main. Mapper. Takes two parameters, so it's like returning a function instead of a... It's not actually like making a list or a tuple, it's returning a function. I don't know, how do we find out what type it is? It's not, I mean, I guess it's the type function, I suppose, but... How does that get used? Okay, yeah, no, I thought there is code here that's supposed to make list work. Wonder why that doesn't work. It's also interesting, what is length of a closure? Closure has no length. How does that work? Are we going into here? I don't think we're getting into here. I don't know why I just changed this here. That was silly. Wonder why it doesn't work is usually followed by a series of prints. Definitely true. Definitely true. I feel like this should be making list work, but it is actually not working. And then the other thing that's weird about this is I feel like these two together should be making it so that closure doesn't work, but maybe I don't understand how closures are. Honestly, I didn't even know Python had a concept of closure. I thought that was a JavaScript thing. I've never heard that in the context of Python before. (109, 110). This is the wrong one. I'm looking in the wrong thing. My version that's on here might not be real. Yeah, I think I was using a version that wasn't real. I think I was using my like partially edited one from last time. Which means we haven't really been testing what we thought we were testing. Closure is a local namespace of a function. It's kept in memory after the function returns. Because it returns something that refers to something that was in that scope, you usually find it when you define a function inside another function and return it. That in fact was the exact case that we found it in here. Okay, this succeeds. Yeah, okay, so lists are legal under the old version of PixelMap. So we do want to be making it so that lists are legal under the new version as well. Oh. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Does not work under the new one, but does work under the old one. Line 113. Let me get to here. So we did find the list, but then it still failed when it went inside of here. Int object is not iteratable. How's it going, Axel Magnuson? Excuse me, I think that that's not even the first time I've done that. I apologize for getting that wrong every time. Axel Magnus, and then Axel Magnus Manson. I always try to contract the your last couple of names together there. Anyway, though, happy Friday. How's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're having a good day. So I mean, this is weird how we're stacked tuple here, truthfully, but let's try to walk through, boy, and stacked the comprehension as well. This is getting crazy in here. Int object not iteratable. So I think this is a problem with the fact that this is list, that this outer thing is a list, and that the inner things are not lists. I bet you this actually works if you do it this way. Yeah. But that's not, we don't want to make them do that. We don't want to make people do that. We should support this as well. Devs at work will go, I'll set a breakpoint in the debugger, step through it, and I'll go add an echo here. Yeah. For PHP to print, yeah. Like it assumes a list of tuples when it finds a list. Well, it assumes a list of iteratables is the thing. Yeah, it's assuming the things inside are also iteratable. So we're going. Yeah, basically we need one more. We need one more logic in here for. We need a. We need to. We need to check if the inner one is an int or not. All right, if it's not an int, then do this. Else, if it is an int, and this is the first one in the list, so we are assuming that all of the ones in the list are the same. I just heard a cat jump back down from a counter back there. You have your in your, you have or in your if instead of and. I don't think and is what I want either. I mean, I grant it could be done that way. I could rearrange some more of the logic and it could work, but I don't think that's how I want it. I think in my head it makes more sense this way, but we'll see too. Maybe I do this and it doesn't work, and then it starts making more sense the other way. So we want to go here. If so that the first one is an int, then what we're going to be doing is just honestly just calling tuple on ranges, right? Yeah, there we go. put that back on so we can make sure it's actually working. Oh, I didn't save it. Like, so we can find out that it's actually working? Anybody? No? Okay. There we go. Oh. Oh, it reran. Okay, I see. Yeah. Looks good. Okay. Okay. I think that's the fix we want here. We don't need the prints anymore. Need the prints anymore. No more prints. Grab this. And go to PixelMap. That is here. Like that. No, that's wrong. That was wrong. This. There we go. Yeah. Let's see here. Then the if on line 111 should have and. Yeah, it could. The lines are probably different now, but yeah, it could have changed the and to down on the other one as possible. Rearrange some of it. I think this covers all of our cases too, though. I'll retest all the different cases as well after this. And after, or it doesn't make sense otherwise. This one here. Not sure. I think this covers all our cases, though. I think this covers all our cases. I'm going to save that for now. What I'll do is I'll make the test script actually try a few more things. So let's go. Let's do a couple of these. Let's do this here, first of all. We could do the old version as well, in fact. Oh, this was ranges. We don't actually need that. We should make this a function. All right, so theoretically, this should just do the same thing twice visually. We don't have, let's put a fill between though. Actually, I have fill in the beginning of here, so that should work. Cool, okay. And then we can just add all of the different cases here, which will be good for testing anyway. These are all individual pixel tests. Try a non-listable error. I will try, so this will be a tuple, and then we'll try something even further away from a list afterwards. Although it's worth noting, I'm pretty sure tuple and list are the only, well, tuple, list, and then I guess the closure, if you do it the right way, are the only supported ones, the only like valid ones, I guess. So like a string or something should fail in some way, I assume, because it'll try to turn them into ints. Do we want to rewrite the map every time? I think that's fine, yeah. Like this will override the old one there. That's okay though. So again, this should, ideally this is just going to do the same thing 4 times, but it's really testing the different ways. Yeah. Do the with ranges test. I think this is actually defaulted to false, if I recall right. I'm just going to do 3 on this, or no, I guess I'll try to do all 4. So this one will look different. This will do full rows at a time, I believe, but it should do, hopefully. It is towards the end though, so we got to watch our other 4 first. There we go. Nice. Okay, that's working good. Use a different color for each test. We could, well, we could, but we'd have to change this, I guess. Blue is actually a little hard to see, so I guess I'm going to use maybe yellow also. On the camera, that is. To the naked eye, it's not really that hard to see, but... There we go. Okay. Put the scale thing in that branch along with the test file and the examples. Thank you. I appreciate that. Actually pronounced like Moonsan. Moonsan. Axel Magnus Moonsan. Thank you. I appreciate the knowledge. And I apologize again for having it wrong this whole time, I think, because I don't think I ever did pronounce it that way before. Moonsan. Old style seems slower. That should be true. Yeah, that should be true. The new one is more efficient and should be faster at some stuff. Yeah. We're not doing like full on printing the times or whatever, so we don't know the exact timings, but that is true. The new style should be just a tad faster. I mean, it's a fair amount faster. It just depends how much you use it, how big your grid is, that sort of stuff, I think. So ours is still fairly small, and we're not doing that much with it. So we did speed up some, I would imagine. We did some measurements on that. I did like maybe 2 weeks ago. A lot's changed since then, though, truthfully. I don't know that those measurements are necessarily like as relevant anymore because we've changed around the libraries and stuff a bit more since then. So I have no idea what will happen. I'm after all the maintainer of the Swedish translation of CircuitPython trophy. Definitely get a trophy for that in my book. Do not know. Where can I get it? You can get all of the translations on CircuitPython.org. The easiest way probably is the easiest way the drop downs. Yeah, they do have drop downs actually. So you can just choose the drop down. So if you want to use the latest stable, which is 7.33, which is actually fairly out of date at this point, truthfully, my recommendation is probably just go ahead and jump to 8. I imagine we'll be making that stable pretty soon, but you can choose your language here, so you can do Swedish. Yeah, and thank you. Definitely hug report to Johnny for being our Swedish language sort of aficionado, basically. I don't know if Johnny is the only one that submits Swedish, but I know Johnny is a big part, at the very least, perhaps even the only one submitting Swedish translations, so definitely thanks for that. So we did crash when we tried to use the string, and it was line 73, which was the new style one, and it says PixelMap has no attribute ranges, which is not necessarily how I expected it to fail, truthfully. I guess the thing is, though, that none of these were true, therefore we never set ranges, therefore when we went to here we didn't have ranges, so I suppose that does make sense. Let's see how it fails with the old one. Basically, our goal is to make it fail mostly the same way. You are the only one. Also the fastest translator. Yeah, Swedish, I believe it was our first full one. Is that right? You'd know the history better than me, but definitely always, I'm seeing your PRs go by to update stuff, so you're definitely on top of it. Lots of examples in there too. Very nice, NearDoc. I'll look in that, using that for sure. Need more than one values to unpack. So it doesn't fail the exact same way, but it does still fail. You know, honestly, I think what would even be best is this, I think, is actually best. Although now we're back to still testing the old one. Let's test the new one. See our new exception here. I feel like the correct way to write this code is to try the nested iteration first, catch the type error, try the other one, etc., without explicitly assuming it's any particular type. I mean, I'm open to that. I would say, like, maybe leave a review or make a PR to change it. I think this is the way I wrote it the first time because it's the way that it makes sense in my head. I'm not like dead set on doing it this way, but this is the way that it makes sense in my head and the way it did the first time I wrote it out. I'm definitely open to critique, open to reviews, open to suggestions. I'm not sure I understand exactly what you mean, but if you do if you do it as a review, a suggested change or whatever, then it will be nice and clear, I think. Probably make a lot more sense in my head. Yeah, I'm definitely open to whatever. This is just kind of the way that it crystallized into my mind when I was writing it. And then we do get the type error this time, and we would get the same thing if we did like just a number by itself, or a function, or an object, or a dictionary, or anything that's not a list or a tuple, basically. Boy, those rows are much brighter. Oh, interesting. Did not actually fail that time. Well, I mean, it failed, obviously, but it didn't fail the same way. It's a bit odd, isn't it? 111. Int isn't subscriptable? I see. Okay. So maybe we do type check first, and then maybe we should be type checking first at the very least for the valid types, and then worrying about what to do in each case. Because we should throw out an int before we even try to do anything else on it, truthfully. If it's not either of those, then we just raise right here, I think. We don't need that. Only accept lists and tuples. So if I run it like that, we should now get our actual exception. Okay, let me see. This way you could use it with, say, byte arrays or any other iterables that you didn't anticipate. Try the nested iteration first, catch the type error. Try the other one. How would it work with a byte array, though? What would it do, I guess? Or what does the old one do? Should have maybe been doing old style first. I suppose it doesn't matter too much. How do you make a byte array? Just byte array function. A list. Back to our first list here. Oops. See what we do when we get to there. It's object not iterable. 74. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't work. The current version, the old version, the version in LED animation doesn't work with a byte array. I'm not opposed to making it work with a byte array, but I think like I'm not necessarily trying to do that on the first pass. I'm really just trying to match this one on the first pass, and then adding functionality as far as different types, being more gracefully handling different types. I'd be happy to do, but I think like it's a follow-up. I want to just hit this one first, and then worry about the stuff that's different. All right, so now this will make sure that the int, what we got there, will give us the our new exception. Is an exception handling slow in CP compared to what? Yeah, it gets question to an if statement. In other languages, does a lot of processing, like collecting the stack trace. I wouldn't know, to be honest. I know we don't have as much going on for the stack trace, truthfully, because you can't have like the traceback module to get it after the fact, but I have no idea about speed in terms of which one would be faster or what. I do know, like, I mean, I would say I think my understanding is that it's more, you know, quote unquote Pythonic to do the try except, right? To try the thing and catch the error rather than like checking the type first and then not doing the thing if it's the wrong type. I do think that's more Pythonic, so to speak, sort of best practices ways, but I don't necessarily know anything about the speed one way or another. Okay, that is now giving us correctly what we want. And then this, I mean, it should be for any wrong type of object. Doesn't matter anymore what it is. Anything that's not a list or a tuple now will return this. But like I said, I am open to, in the future, supporting other types, whether it's byte arrays or, you know, another one that would probably be pretty cool is microlab arrays, like indie array or whatever it is from ULab, from NumPy, essentially. That might be a cool one as well. Okay. I'm going to take byte arrays and put it down here. I'll keep it in this file. I'm just going to put it right below the other invalid ones, since it's technically invalid right now. Get rid of some of this stuff. We don't really need a lot of this. Not end up using this, I guess, so we could get rid of that. Keep that stuff, I guess. Typing the big Python now has to abstract the base classes and let you check whether it's iterable without explicitly checking if it's a list. But I don't think that exists in CircuitPython. Oh, interesting. Check if it's an iterable type without actually knowing for sure it's a list. That's pretty cool. That'd be a nice thing. It would be a nice thing to have for sure, though. Oh. Gotta go now. Thanks, Tim. Bye all. Yep. Thanks for hanging out, Dave. I appreciate you. Hope you have a good night and all that. Let me fix this, because obviously we don't want that just hanging out here, do we? Thanks, YouTube. Oh, we're getting better. We hide the names now. Okay. Wow, yeah. Actually, unironically, thanks, YouTube. We're moving in the right direction. Okay, that was one of our issues, and I think we got that knocked out. We now match the old version in terms of accepting a list. We also did check with ranges instead of individual pixels to make sure we didn't break anything there. Does not appear as though we did. So I think we can PR to do this. One other question though is, do we want to just make one PR to cover both of these things? And I think we might as well. I don't think we need to make two PRs. So well, also I guess one thing is we want to take this version, and this needs to go to the repo. So far, the only difference is in the constructor correctly handling the lists in the type. But then the other change we'll do is actually on the get slice. I think we just do this. Theoretically, that should work now. Oh, although goodness. Know how to undo and redo, apparently. Now, the thing is, though, I'm in the repo. I actually want to be over in my device. Whoops. Not a mod on this channel. Yeah, I don't think I have the ability to add mods or anything. I'll say it's dwindled a bit. Like we got that stuff, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx it, but we got that kind of stuff a little bit more frequently in the past, so I'm glad that it's dwindled a bit. And I will say I am legitimately glad, like props to YouTube legitimately for making it so that the name actually disappears, because like it used to just keep showing the person's name, which like they put bad stuff in their name too, so hiding their message and continuing to show their name was pretty useless in my opinion. So props to them for actually making it better. I've been frustrated in the past by YouTube's moderation, so this time they did actually improve it. Thank you for that to them. They'll never see this, I'm sure, but from the bottom of my heart, I do appreciate it. They are moving in the right direction. Hopefully we'll keep getting even better. In order to test this, I am going to print new style map. So when we end here, the last one will be the one that is on. I think what I want to do is go actually f string so we don't really care so much about testing the getting on the old versions. Oh, this is not a slice though. We need to be slicing actually. How do you get the full slice? Is it just 0 colon? Yeah. This actually gets easier. We're just going to do 0 colon. Slice the whole thing there. And we'll see every pixel. Yeah, we don't care so much about the old style. Do we? I mean, I guess we might as well. Should we? Not the speed of the if statement to worry about. It's the speed of the is instance. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, if it's in the, it's still overall, it's gonna make the whole thing slower if it is slowed down that way. But let's see what we get here. Oh dear. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we got the same things every time, which is good. That means the new version is working the same as the old version. It's exactly what we want. And the new version is now using this. Use get? Use get? Of course, I just modified this in the library, which is not at all what I want. Let's just undo all of that back to here. Yeah. Okay. I think we're good now on both of those, and we just want to run pre-commit and then push it, make a PR out of it. You printed the same thing over and over again because you forgot to change from new to old in the slice thing. Print slice thing. Oh. Yeah, thank you. You are right. Yeah, I appreciate the heads up on that. Yeah, I totally was not actually testing what I thought I was testing, huh? Ooh, we do have actually a slight difference. Which is that one's a tuple and one's a list. Do we care about that? I don't know that we do. I will say that's also coming from the core now, so it's a bit harder for us to really manipulate that. And so these all go new version, old version, new version, old version. So the new version is returning the tuple, and the old version actually was returning the list. I believe that's okay, though. And honestly, if it needs to change, it would have to change inside the core. But a lot of stuff used to support both tuples and lists, and now in the core, it only supports tuples. In the Python layer, I have added a bunch of stuff to make it support lists also. But the actual core class itself, the new thing that was added, pretty much is tuples only. So it does actually kind of make sense that the new version would be returning a tuple and not a list here. The old version had a lot more stuff with lists going on. Mega main character? You don't need the 0? You can do the you can do a slice all with no 0. So what the is it any different? It's not any different. Interesting. I did not know. Thank you. Seagrover and Neradoc both. Always down to learn some new syntax. Yeah, I had no idea that you could do that one without a number on either side. I knew you could do a number on either the left or the right or both, and those all have different meanings. I never knew you could do it without one, though. That's pretty interesting. Oh, I'm on main. I should be making a branch here. I have no idea. I don't even know what's going on with this. Homie guy only. We're gonna need to add a remote. Ooh. Adafruit. Empty slice is useful for making a copy. Interesting. For assigning the whole list without replacing it. Making a copy. Oh, I see. So if you made a second variable and you use that full slice, you then have two. Ah, okay. You have two lists that you can then modify independently. Whereas if you just go like list 2 equals list 1, then it's like reference or whatever. They'll both point to the same one, I guess. Interesting. So it's like a clone kind of thing going on there. That's interesting. Okay. New branch. So what did we did the individual pixels, and then we did the get slicing. It'd be kind of a long branch name, truthfully. Maybe maybe we'll say issue 1 and 2. Maybe we'll say issue 1 and 2. One and 2. From Adafruit main. No track. Pre-commit run all files. Got to fail. Oh, that is not what I wanted. Back. Map. Consider using a generator. Generator. I don't know what it wants me to do here. I had one like this before, actually, with Pylint as well, I think. If anybody knows like what syntax it's hoping that I'll use by chance, I'm definitely open to a point in the right direction, because I'm not really sure why, like what Pylint wants me to change to do here. Generator. Consider using a generator instead of tuple, and then a list comprehension. I actually left out a layer there. We actually have a list inside there. Is it mad because I put the list there? No. Oh, I didn't save. Hold on. Didn't save. Okay. That does make it happy. Does it actually work, though? I think we left it on REPL, right? Yeah. Okay. Looks like it's working. Well, I'll look at the code and make sure the part we changed is actually getting used. Yeah, it does look slower though. I will give you that. Yeah, it does. I mean, it feels it's a very slight, but just a a half a beat or whatever. It just feels just a tad slower on the specifically those last two, the rows. Okay. What was that code we actually changed though? All right, this is in expand ranges, and it is whenever the first thing, so it's individual pixels is true, and the first item in the ranges is an int. So yeah, I think we did actually do that. Yeah, I think that definitely should have been code that we executed. Let's just double check though. Just make sure we see that get printed. Yeah. Okay. It actually gets on all of the first several. Okay. Consider this a equals, oop, too slow. Scroll up a bit. A equals 1, 2, 3, B equals A. Oh, interesting. I didn't know you could use it on the left side of the assignment as well, actually. So A slice equals 456. It'll print 456. Huh. Oh, okay, yeah. So they're linked together, I guess, in the... Okay, interesting. Find a picture of a Mega Man character. To be fair, I didn't know his name. Heiberger? I didn't play much Mega Man. I never had a Sega when I was a kid. I had a Super Nintendo, and then I eventually got an N64, and like, it's kind of, I think I had a Wii as well, but I had kind of fallen out of video game consoles by that time. But yeah, I didn't get the Sega line, so I never had Sega Genesis, therefore I didn't play a lot of Mega Man. I think maybe there was Mega Man for Super Nintendo, maybe, but I don't think I had it. Telly, as it turns out. It is the perfect mascot for the empty slice, though. I will give you that. He's perfect for that. The glyph square brackets colon reminds me of an item from the game Thextider. You turn it on its side. Yeah, that's very similar. Thextider. I'm not familiar with that one. I'm curious, though. See if we can find the that's looking like that. Wait, this does, I will say, this does look a lot like Mega Man a bit, doesn't it? It seems very thematically similar for sure. Did I pass by one of them? Like there's lots of different kinds of things you shoot in this game, it looks like. These ones look kind of similar. I think there's been a couple of, I'm guessing these are different versions. Cool. Yeah, no, I had never heard of this game. Exeter. Was this on, I mean, the graphics look very basic. Was this like an Atari game, or what was this originally played on? You can assign to slices. It's convenient for inserting additional items in the middle of the list too, because it doesn't have to be the full slice. It'll just replace the part with new values. Oh, interesting. So you can replace like indexes like 2, 3, 4 out of the middle of a list without... Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that either. All right, that there. So we should be passing, I think, right? Commit run, we should be passing. Okay, let's make sure we've got nothing extra in our commit. So I'll commit this, I'll make a PR. I will talk about what I'm going to work on tomorrow, I think, and then I'll probably wrap it up for the night. So if anybody has questions, comments, anything you'd like to say or ask, now is the time to do so. I'll wrap it up here in just a few minutes. First, though, I'll make sure this looks good to push, which I think it does. PC, PC, PCJR, and Tandy. Okay. There's our get item stuff and our made Pilot happier. Although it is interesting that we did change from list to tuple here. I don't remember making that change specifically, but I guess we did. Yes, we did. And then the stuff that fixed our... I don't know, though. This one feels wrong to me. I don't... Did we change this today? Yep, I'll be around tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Time. I'll be back streaming tomorrow. And I'll talk here in just a minute about what I'm going to do tomorrow. I can't shake the feeling... I mean, it is 139, which is the line we changed, so... And we did test it. Let's just make sure the version on our device has that. Yeah, I had the extra print, but it does tuple. Okay. Interesting. I totally don't recall changing that from list to tuple there, but I mean, we must have because we got the new one, so say it's good. We tested it out as well, so should be working good. Use core class get slicing getter fix individual pixels mode. All right, those are pushing. Make a PR from it. Operation. Oh wow, ouch. I just had a really weird like hiccup thing going on there. Like inhaled at the same time. Did not feel so good. All right. Anybody else as well? If anybody has a device that has a grid of neopixels or just multiple neopixels in general and is interested in helping us out by testing this, always happy to have stuff tested in PRs. If you're not a member of the review team yet, you can still test it out. Just leave a comment on this page to let us know that you tried it. Let us know what device you did it on, if it worked, if it didn't work, if you had questions, if you had trouble, whatever, right? Just if you want to give it a try, let us know in the comments there. Definitely appreciate it. Anybody who wants to do that for us. Yeah, we got this in, so I'm not going to wait around to see if it passes the actions tonight. What I will do, though, is set the stage a bit for tomorrow's stream. So tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Time, I'll be back on my own channels streaming for the sort of Saturday morning coffee stream. I don't know. I don't have a catchy name or anything, unfortunately. But we'll play with some more CircuitPython stuff. I'll be back tinkering around with stuff. Happy to have folks come and hang out. and drink some coffee with us. Specifically, I think what I'm going to get into tomorrow is related to the other one of the two core PRs that I've been working on lately. So one core PR was PixelMap, the stuff we just looked at throughout this stream. Another PR in the core that I've been working on lately. Really? Much older, I guess, huh? Display.io show API. This is the other kind of main effort that I have been working on lately. This one is also another change inside the core. This is changing the Display.io API. This is also now merged into the core, as you can see here. What we have left to work on this effort, which somebody a few weeks ago reminded me of. I don't know if that was C. Grover or who that was. Thank you, whoever it was, though. I apologize if I'm wrong, but somebody reminded me a few weeks back. Maybe Dexter. I want to say actually it was Dexter. We have not touched or thought about at all Blinka Display.io. So I think tomorrow what I'm going to work on is implementing the new API for Display.io, which is the display.rootGroupEquals property instead of the old method, which is the display.show function. We're going to be working on that inside Blinka Display.io because now that it's merged in the core, we want to update Blinka Display.io as quick as we can, at least, to try to make it match the core API. So I think that's what I got going on tomorrow. If anybody's interested in that kind of stuff, Linux level Blinka Display.io, using CircuitPython Display.io code on Raspberry Pis and Linux computers, that's what I'll be playing with in the morning tomorrow. Thank you to everybody for watching. Appreciate everybody who's here watching. Appreciate everybody who's in the chat, hanging out, saying hi, helping out with stuff, asking questions, all that kind of stuff. Also appreciate everybody who's just here lurking. That's totally cool as well. Watching along, appreciate everybody all the same. So thank you all for watching. I hope everyone does have a good night and a good weekend and all that stuff. I will catch those of you who want to follow along tomorrow with me on the morning stream. Otherwise, I will say farewell, and I will see you next